The impetus of making this video is really based on a comment that I received on one of my last videos, in which the person voiced some concern about XRP. The person was either sincere in their search for information, or he was just simply out there to spread FUD by referring to some of those out there who say that XRP is a scam, and that he was buying into the fact that XRP might be a scam. It really took me most of the day to figure out the best way to respond to that. I was waiting to see what kind of reaction I would get from some of the other viewers, and there was some comment, and then I finally posted my response. And initially my goal was just to respond with a video, but I did respond with a comment back, and then I started drafting out the idea for this video. So that's it, and I really want to say thank you for getting me to do a little bit more research and make today's video. Hey, this is Jeff with the HODL Report. Join me on today's video as we explore and really get a better understanding of the XRP Ledger. If you enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. I also want to give a big thank you to everyone who's already subscribed to this channel. I believe we're well over 320 right now. It's been growing. I'm really ecstatic about the growth, really happy about the comments that I'm receiving, really happy about the fact that what I'm saying is actually helping people out there, and people are enjoying it. So again, if you're enjoying the video, thumbs up and subscribe to the channel now would be a big help. There's a little red button below the video. Before I do get started with today's topic, I really want to point out that today there were absolutely some amazing videos that were posted. I started early this morning listening to Oz Crypto, then moved on to Rob Art, followed by a quick video from Digital Asset Investor that I didn't listen to yesterday. This afternoon, for the first time ever, I was able to catch a DM Logic live stream for at least a part of it until the phone started ringing again. And then I was privy to gaining access to two more quick videos from Digital Asset Investor, which I thought, you know, they were, each one of them was point on, just spot on. And if it was just those videos, I would have been ecstatic. I would have been happy. Caught another video from Decentralized TV talking about XRP. Really, at that point, and this is, as my day progresses, I'm trying to figure out how do I cram in everybody's videos that I want to watch. There's still Alex Cobb, Esoteric, Crypto Eddie. There's just so many outstanding people right now making YouTube, so many outstanding YouTubers in this space, a ton of them in the XRP community, others that are just in the cryptocurrency community at large that are bringing out some important information and just great topics. I just want to throw out a kudos to all of you. Thank you for what you guys do. So really back to the purpose of today's video, and the person who posted what we can interpret as a little bit of FUD comment, but actually the commenters' true intentions really aren't the point of my video today, but what is to get a better understanding of the XRP Ledger technology, so that if we're ever in a position again and someone's spreading FUD, do we need to confront them? We could, but really better off, I think, that you can take take the higher road and avoid it unless there's other people that are buying into it, and you want to know how to respond the right way. And I think doing your own personal research and education is really the best way, but you have to feel good with yourself about what you're investing in and not buying into other people's FUD or into their FOMO that get you to do things that you wouldn't otherwise have done if you didn't hear what they said, because you were already on that single-minded track. But then all of a sudden someone's spreading FUD and you're like, oh my God, they must be right. But just because they're on YouTube, or just because they write a blog, or just because they're a journalist, or just because they're on CNBC or Fox News or CNN or the hordes of other media, doesn't mean that they have an inkling of knowledge about the facts of the situation. So do your own research and you'll be much better off for it. So really, again, at the end of the day, we want to all be confident, getting back to this topic, we all want to be confident in the XRP Ledger technology, because in reality and truth, the XRP Ledger offers something completely unique outside of what any of the other digital assets currently offer in terms of real world utility. But then there's also some key features that the XRP Ledger has that others don't have. Now, there's absolutely no way that some random online blogger is going to be the one to show the world that the XRP technology isn't real and that it's really a scam. It's just absolutely ridiculous to think that way. And the reason why I say that is because if it were true, there are plenty of crypto industry titans from all around the crypto space, the crypto sphere, all around the world that would have blown the whistle on this long ago. There's enough people speaking out against XRP that if there was some scam aspect of it, that would have been headline news, and that would have been the end of it. Furthermore, banks, financial institutions, governments, anybody that is involved, becoming involved, testing out, have done their due diligence, have done their legal research, have done their technical research before getting involved with Ripple, that's built on the XRP Ledger, that utilizes XRP as a digital asset, as inherent as part of the XRP Ledger. It's all one and the same. So it just wouldn't happen. So that's where I know 100% certain for myself, unless everybody's been fooled, unless everybody's in on it, you know, but I don't believe at all that that is the case. And so we're going to move forward beyond when someone says it's a scam. It's just not a relevant argument to be made, and it's an incorrect argument to be made. So let's put all this FUD behind us, and let's move on to what actually is important. Now, XRP is the digital asset of the XRP Ledger, which was designed actually as a bridge currency to every fiat currency that's available. So XRP on the XRP Ledger can be converted pretty much instantly into any other fiat currency that exists. Now, XRP is a critical part of the XRP Ledger, and actually has some very significant features that make it significantly different and very unique from Bitcoin and the other altcoins that are available. So let's go through this list. And now what XRP has that's a little bit unique, that's specific to the XRP Ledger and to XRP, the digital asset. Censorship resistant transaction processing. So what does that mean? There's no single party that can decide if a transaction succeeds or fails. That's important. There's no centralized system, mechanism in place that will decide that if you're going to create a transaction, that system isn't automatically deciding, well, Bob is doing that transaction and Peter's doing that one, so we're going to cancel out Bob's. It doesn't work that way. Once a transaction is complete, no one can actually roll back that transaction. Fast, efficient consensus algorithm. This consensus algorithm actually will then dictate how fast the transaction of the digital asset is, and really how many transactions it can be managed in a specific period of time. So transactions are completed in seconds, as we know, and the XRP digital asset and through the XRP Ledger can manage 1,500 transactions per second. So finite supply of XRP, as we all know, maybe not. There's only 100 billion XRP that will ever be made that are in existence. That's it. There'll never be more. There'll be less because there is some burn off of XRP with transactions, and others have brought this up. It's definitely relevant with Bitcoin, as it is with all altcoins. Is that people lose their addresses. So over time, people are going to lose a significant percentage, even a small 1%, but people will lose a good percentage of their coins out there as they lose addresses. So we don't really know how many have been lost to date. Just like with Bitcoin from the early years, people have mentioned that there's computer hard drives that are in garbage piles someplace that people just have no idea, so they don't really have the exact count of how many have been lost. And it's the same thing with XRP. Now, there's only 35 billion that are currently in circulation, and there's 55 billion that are being held in escrow. And then Ripple and the founders of Ripple are holding the rest of the coins, of the tokens of XRP. Now, reasonable software governance. So what does this mean exactly? Ripple actually has employed top developers in the field, and they're all continuously updating the XRP Ledger to make sure that it is the most advanced that it can be. So it's constantly being updated and constantly being tweaked for improvement to make sure that it's always the best that it will ever exist. So if there's changes, they want to make sure that they're ahead of the curve. Secure, adaptable cryptography. The fact that the software is continuously being upgraded means that it's possible to change and adapt as cryptography software techniques advance. So things will change, and new technologies, new ways of doing things are always happening regardless of the technology that we work with. So through this adaptable, it's a secure, adaptable cryptography. It's like a living software for the security of the device, for the development of the device. And so as new software techniques advance, then it can be implemented onto the XRP Ledger. I think that's really important. Now, on Ledger decentralized exchange, this is another aspect of the XRP Ledger that isn't really talked about, but the XRP Ledger actually contains a fully functional exchange where users can trade issued currencies for XRP. Or you can exchange currency, fiat currency for fiat currency. So that's where the XRP is the bridge currency that can be transacted pretty much into any fiat currency that exists. Now, some of the modern features for smart contracts are also within the XRP Ledger, like escrow, checks, payment channels, and interledger, which we've discussed in a previous video. Escrow actually locks up XRP until a certain time passes. So, for instance, the large amount of escrow that was put away, or if you're creating a smart contract, again, there's a X amount of XRP that's involved in that smart contract, goes into an escrow, and that is locked up throughout the term of that smart contract, whatever that designated amount of time is. Checks, which is actually a layer of protection to prevent bugs in the system, so that's really important. Payment channels, which allows near immediate balance changes. So if you're moving XRP to another wallet, or through a payment channel, then that balance is automatically or near automatically transferred because it's happening in seconds. So if I'm sending it as a form of payment to you, or taking it from person A to person B, the balances are going to change. So amendments, and this is, I think, also important, which allows seamless upgrades as technology continues to evolve. And when you go onto the developers channel, you can see some of the updates that have been happening over the period of time with the XRP Ledger. The Interledger is a project that's designed to provide exchange between different ledgers. And so if we're to compare the XRP Ledger and the XRP digital asset to the Interledger, where the XRP Ledger and XRP digital asset are meant for transactions with other fiat currencies, the Interledger is the bridge, let's say, similar to where the XRP Ledger and the XRP digital asset function to the fiat. The Interledger is then interfacing with other ledgers, with a Bitcoin or an Ethereum or what have you. Now, the Ripple team is really behind much of this amazing development. They are the stewards or the overseers of the XRP Ledger. When some of the FUD spreaders out there say that Ripple will move on without XRP, just remember that Ripple has significant equity tied up into XRP. They have brain equity, they have financial equity, they have time, they have reputation. Plus, XRP is a very important part of the Ripple ecosystem. Just a brief disclaimer. All the information provided on this channel are based on my opinions. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not providing financial advice. But if I am going to give any advice, then let it be this. Do your own research. Invest only what you can afford to lose. Invest only what you yourself want to invest in based on your own research. Don't buy or sell based on FUD or FOMO that's spread online. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your subscriptions. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. And in the meantime, keep on hodling your crypto.